Hi fragrance friends, welcome to the Nose Nose. It's Daniel. Today we are talking about a great fragrance that I've been wearing for many years. It is from the house of Amouage, Memoir Man. This is the only Amouage fragrance I have at the moment. I've been listening and watching lots of reviews about this house. It comes from the country of Oman originally, and they're having boutiques popping up around the world, and it's been growing, and they have really fabulous perfumers making their scent. So this one is my personal favorite, the one I'm most familiar with, and I sprayed a little bit on my wrist already about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, getting the dry down, because this one really has a beautiful dry down. So I'm going to spray a fresh spray on my other wrist that is clean, get the top notes contrast with the base notes and the middle notes, and see kind of how this fragrance changes. Now the top notes of this fragrance are absinthe, mint, basil, and wormwood. It dries down to a rose, frankincense, and lavender in the middle, and then on the base there's sandalwood, oak moss, leather, tobacco, musk, guaiac wood, and amber. So it's this real musky, woody scent, but it's a little bit green too. So I'm going to spray it on the wrist and see what my initial thoughts are. Already, strong blast of absinthe and mint. Amazing. Oh my god, it's so beautiful because it's like a green scent, but it's not like a green scent where it smells like fresh cut grass like so many green scents do. It's mysterious, it's kind of otherworldly. When I first purchased the scent, I was trying to decide a scent to get in 2012 that I was looking to buy, just looking at different scents, wanting something really unique, really out of this world. I was smelling some Killians, I was looking at some older Creeds that were a little bit different than the mainstream, and I found this one, and I was reading on one of the fragrance blogs, either Base Notes or another one, I don't even remember anymore, but somebody described it as like the forest on ecstasy. And I think that's a perfect description of it. It's this otherworldly, familiar place that's just so heightened. The top notes sparkle, but there's deep shadows. It really transcends the top sparkling in this deep, dark, kind of otherworldly nature. So definitely getting mint, definitely getting some of the wormwood, that kind of woody feel. Absinthe is present in it, and I really, there might be a little like hint of a rose there, but I don't get a lot of florals at first. I get some of the woodiness, but I really get those top notes very strongly. Now, it's had a chance to dry down for a little bit on this wrist, and I'm really starting to get the sandalwood, the leather, kind of an incense feeling. There's a little bit of lavender left. I noticed about an hour into the dry down, the lavender note came out quite strongly, and there was also some vanilla to it. So one of my favorite parts about the feeling of this composition, from the top notes to middle and the base notes, is that it is very uniform. It always has the same characteristics of being very out of this world, transcendent to a new place, but it kind of shifts as it dries down very much. It really keeps changing, and unlike some fragrances where as it shifts you might get a really strong blast of a certain note, though you can pick up the notes in it, like I picked up the lavender, I'm getting the mint right now, there is a cohesion, a homogeny, if you will, to the scent where it kind of always stays very rooted in the composition. I don't know if that makes sense. That's the best way I can describe it, but it has its moments where you catch different notes, but unlike some fragrances where it's very clearly neroli, or it's very clearly there's oud, it's like, oh, I think that's lavender. It's like a breeze of lavender or something. Now let's talk about the longevity of the fragrance. I find that this wears about 6 to 8 hours, pretty good longevity on my skin. If I do a couple sprays, maybe even a little bit longer. The projection, however, it stays pretty close to the body. I notice a big projection at first spray. I think that lasts for just the initial dry down, but for me it stays very close to my skin, but it is present. One test that I do with my fragrances is I practice hot yoga a couple times a week. So if I go to hot yoga and I maybe didn't notice the scent on me and I'm in a room that's 105 degrees, about 20 minutes in class, sometimes I will start smelling the scent, showing me that the scent is still in the skin, it's still there, it just requires a little bit of heat, requires some blood flow. This is a scent that I especially notice that I don't really smell it. I think I become nose blind to it. But if I go to the hot room and I'm in there for a few minutes and it heats up, it's so strong again. So it is there on the skin. It definitely lasts. It's just a very close projection, which, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, scent, I don't think, should be this overpowering thing that someone smells you before they see you walking into a room. But it can be shared by, in a very intimate way, by someone giving you a hug or being close to you physically. And I think that's part of the beauty of scent. I see someone wearing this scent that's very confident, that definitely likes perfume, that maybe is a little mysterious or sophisticated. I don't see this scent as being something that someone would just wear, you know, looking for like a starter scent or adding, you know, having a collection of just a few mainstreams and smelling something like, oh, I want that one. It definitely is a very specific type of scent. I mean, there's a lot of niche fragrances out there, so to call a fragrance niche is sort of like, well, that's a very broad category. It's not like all niche fragrances have the same feeling, but this definitely does have very specific notes and a very specific feeling to it. I believe the Amouage website refers to it as a philosophical scent, which definitely makes sense. It sort of recasts the world in a very definite point of view, I think, which is what I like about this. The point of view of this fragrance is very specific, and I have no other words to describe that. I know if you haven't smelled it, probably, well, how does a fragrance have a point of view of the world, philosophical? But it does. Just something about it is very, it has a strong point of view, which I love. But yeah, so a confident guy, someone probably sophisticated, maybe a traveler, someone who appreciates different parts of the world. I would say it's appropriate for, honestly, all times of year. I feel like a lot of people would maybe argue with that, but I find because the projection is not strong, you could definitely get away with this in summer. Unlike some stronger scents from the Middle East that contain a lot of oud, or as I've smelled on cards with the Amouage incense notes, they can be very overpowering. This one, the incense is not, ooh, I just, as I move my wrist for a second, I just got some of the lavender projecting. Oh, it already changes. Beautiful. Magical. Where was I? I don't remember where I was. It doesn't matter. I just got taken by that lavender. It's a very great scent, very unique. I really look forward to trying some more of the Amouage fragrances. They can be a little tricky to find sometimes. I found some at Barney's in New York in the past, and I know I'm in Chicago that there is an apothecary downtown called Mertz Apothecary that I've seen several of the scents. I think they have about 10 or 15 evenly split between the men and the women's scents. So I'm excited to go in there sometime and hopefully pick up a few more of these compositions and check them out. And it would be great if they were carried more widespread across the US and everywhere around the world. I don't know if they're a little more prevalent in Europe. I assume that they're a little more prevalent in the Middle East. But in America, they are easy to get online, but not so easy sometimes to find and smell in the store. So definitely a great fragrance, really unique. So that's my review of Amouage Memoir Man. But I need to give a huge shout out to Jim Causley, who recommended Perfumes A to Z book, the A to Z Guide to Perfumes. I just got it in the mail yesterday, and I have been perusing it. It is very fascinating. I got really excited last night. I was reading about some of my favorite Chanel, Les Exclusives de Chanel, like 31 Rue Cambon, Bois d'Azil, and Cœur de Russet. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I was looking at those three, and they got really good reviews in this book. And just the way that these two authors describe the fragrances are amazing. Though there were a few of my personal favorites that they did not like, and I was a little upset. I was getting quite emotional reading the book, getting excited at the beautiful reviews, and a little angry at the negative ones of things that I hold dear, and Dan was like looking, he kept laughing at me because I was like screaming at the book. Ah! So anyway, but yeah, Jim, thank you for recommending this. I know Martin, you said you're going to try to get your hands on a copy, Martin Moore. So if you were able to do that, let me know. And I'm definitely excited. There are so many fragrances in here. It's like, I don't know how they smelled this many. And there were some I was looking for that they didn't smell. So it's, I mean, there's so much out there. But I was reading the first little essay in the front, and their whole viewpoint on perfume is that it's an art. It's not a science. It's not primarily like a beauty item, even though it's lumped in with skincare and makeup. It's really an art. And I think that's a great way to look at perfume, is that it is an art. Truly, it has point of view, it has things to say, it has other worlds to show us, and I definitely agree with that. It's interesting to read reviews of perfume that are more than just like the reviews that are mostly online are, you know, these are the ingredients, this is how it wears, this is who I see wearing it. You know, their reviews are, I don't know, it's like they're reviewing painting or opera or, I don't know, theater, books, you know, literature. They take it, it's definitely reviewing on a very high level, but it's a little different to read about perfume and think of it in such a high art fashion, because as I've said before, and I will say a million times, perfume is so personal. You know, it's like it's linked to memory, it captures your memory, it makes you go to a place that maybe is associated with your dreams. Like the Forest on Ecstasy thing really resonated with me. I grew up going to the forest, so when I heard that and associate that with this Memoir Man fragrance, it like locked something in my head. So I guess that's what art does, but I just feel like perfume is such a personal form of art. It's interesting to review it in a way that one would review a novel or an album or an opera or whatever, you know, a painting. It's a different take that we don't see much of, so I think it's very interesting. My oven just beeped. I'm making biscuits for me and Dan. I'm gonna whip up. It's my day off. It's 2:46 in the afternoon, and I'm making biscuits, and I'm gonna make up bacon and eggs, and just like, is that kind of day, guys. It is that kind of day. But anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You like what you see. I am really, really psyched because I was looking at the store, and there are some sample sets that they have. They're bigger than samples. They're like 10 to 12 milliliter bottles of Frederick Mall and Mason Francis Kirkchan that I'm going to purchase in the near future, and I'm going to have so many scents to review that are really unique and really special, so I'm looking forward to that. But until then, please subscribe, please watch my videos, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Now, the top notes of this fragrance are mint,